Hi, you have reached the Art of Memories. Please leave a message after the tone.
Okay, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Monica Anthony, and welcome back to the Art of Memories. Now, I will say it's been a while. January has been a very, very long month. There's lots going on in whatever country you may be watching this. I don't know what's in the air, but I hope everyone remains safe, takes care of themselves, look after themselves, and just keep doing all that you need to do and live each and every day to the best of your abilities and don't take any time for granted, is what I can say at this time. I've been sick twice this month already, which is actually crazy and a lot for me. I don't get sick very often, but I was sick just after New Year's Eve, which was, I guess, bound to happen. The Christmas break. I haven't really potted since the Christmas break because, like I said, long month. But Christmas break was crazy. A lot of running around, a lot of friends and family to see and relatives. So I think by the time I hit like New Year's Eve, I was just like capped out. And by the time that night happened, party, drinking, whatever, I was just like ill the next day. So that took me out a bit. Had like the regular like cold for, I want to say, 3 or 4 days, and then was better. Like jumped right back into action, work, going out, seeing friends. Like not too much, just like the basic stuff. Like wasn't partying, wasn't doing anything, just like out and about running errands. And then boom, like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I just like sick again. And this time, the first time was like more like nasally, sneezing type of sickness, like regular cold. But the second time around was like cough. And if you know me, I hate a goddamn cough. Like coughing is just such an inconvenience to day to day life. You can't even laugh. That's also another reason why I haven't potted, because you can't laugh without coughing. Like literally, if you get too big of a laugh, like you just you're hacking everywhere. Like you cannot function in society with a cough, especially when it gets to that part of like the phlegm. Oh lord, like it's so embarrassing. But the phlegm part is like when you're least contagious, right? Because it's just like you're getting shit off your chest. But like I hate being out in public and having like hacking up something. People are probably looking over like fuck COVID, whatever is going around again, Omicron, whatever type of version and phase that is. But I just hate drawing attention to myself. It's not my fault. I mean, the reason why I think I got sick again was because I just wasn't taking care of myself. Like the first time I got sick at the beginning of the month, got over that really quickly, like took all the precautions. I was slapping medicine like there was no tomorrow. Like Bo Buckley's, Halls. I was like making some like remedies, when you put some tequila, lemon, honey. Like I was doing whatever I had to do to get over it. But I think I just didn't take the time to like let my body rest. Like I said, I had like just jumped right back into action. So that's what kind of faulted into that second sickness. Um, which is a bit upsetting, but we're here now. But yeah, the second time around was just like detrimental. I hated the cough. I felt weak. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't work out. I still played like a soccer game, which was like bad, and I couldn't even breathe. I was wheezing. But yeah, just I think we're all on the same page in terms of cough. So I'm very blessed. It was like that's all it was, and I've really taken the time to rest, and now I'm like back and feel a lot better and fully back to myself now. I can be active again. But I know a lot of other people are not as fortunate around this time of year. So like I said at the beginning, like please take care of yourself, look after yourself. Like nothing is more serious than your health. So like don't feel the need to don't feel the need to play that soccer game if you actually don't think you can, or don't feel the need to go to work. Don't feel the need to go to that hangout or to go to that part. Like it's really not that serious. There will be more, but I just really want to emphasize that there's a lot going around. A lot going around and a lot going on right now. So please take my advice. I'm not getting sick again for a very long time, I hope. So look after yourself. But this episode, I really just wanted to take the time and keep it a bit more light. I feel like the first two, I really wanted to show you kind of what I wanted to bring to this platform and what kind of stories and substance that I wanted you to hear and listen to. But there's more to the art of memories as well. Memories are also really fun and stupid and just a lot of tomfoolery, which happens a lot in my life. So I wanted to kind of bring that to this episode because just keep it fun and light. There's so many stories, so it's hard kind of doing this because I have some really good ones. I mean, all of them are good, but there's some where I'm like, like should I do it now or should I like save that for in a couple months? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like it was hard to choose like which ones I wanted to start with, and obviously I want to keep this a lot more structured. So I wanted to kind of like categorize some stories in a way, but I've landed on a topic today, and I think this will be really good and give people kind of a good laugh of the shit that goes on in my life. But if you know me very well, and a lot of people don't know this, but I suffer from migraines. It's something that I've had throughout my life since like elementary school. Like since I was a kid, I've gotten these weird migraines. I know there's probably people in your life that like know that that get migraines, and it's unbearable. Like I would never wish that upon anybody to get a migraine. And yeah, like I said, I've gotten them ever since I was a kid, all throughout high school, all throughout university. And there were times where it happened more often than others. I feel like in elementary school, it happened a lot more because I didn't know how to regulate them or even what it was or what was happening to me. I had to go to the doctors a lot. But of course, it was kind of easy to diagnose. Like the doctor was like, bro, you're getting migraines. But it was just a really weird concept now that I look back because I was like a kid and I wasn't sure how I was getting these migraines or why, like what was triggering them. And I've, of course, done a lot of research throughout the years, but there's not really like a pinpointed reason why I get migraines or like a reason why people do like the most common one and one that kind of resonated with me a lot was drastic weather changes. So if one day it's like, +5, but the next day it's like, -15, -20, that kind of has seemed to be a reason why some people in this world get migraines. Another like really easy one when I was a kid though was very strong smells. Like super strong, like cheap perfumes almost. Like not even cheap because there were some that like were just like the really strong ones. I would say I had this One Direction perfume that I got, I think, for Christmas. If you know, you know. Like, it was the One Direction perfume. It was in the pink bottle glass. And that was the main reason for so many of my migraines looking back. Now, like, that shit was cheap and dry and pungent. Like, my head, pop, boom, boom. I understand now the reason why I had to throw it away. Like, I was so happy to use it. And how you spray shit all over your body. Like I was like drowning myself in the migraine. Anyways, so now I realize that was another main reason. But again, who knows the reason why I still get them to this day? Like sometimes I get them and it's just like, okay, I haven't had one for 6 months and I get one out of the blue. And it's like, what triggered this? I should say, yeah. Like what is triggering these migraines? So anyways, to this day, I still don't really know why, but I still get them every now and then. I think high school was a bit less. University was a bit less, but then like there's some years, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some years I get them like once, other years I get them like 3, 4 times. Couldn't tell you. I just try my best to avoid them, but I finally got a good gauge now. But why am I telling you this is why you're asking. Why am I going on this rampage about goddamn migraines? What does this have to do with anything? Because that is the topic of my two stories today. Like I said, I've gotten many, but there were 2 times where I've gotten them that are significant stories that live in my head. And anytime I tell them to anyone, they're just like, what the hell. And when I tell you I don't play about these migraines, like they're not a joke now. They're not a joke. Between the comparison between a headache and a migraine, if you've never had one, don't even try to compare yourself and be like, oh yeah, yeah. Like I know you don't know the feeling. Sorry, like I'm just gonna tell you that right now. You don't know the feeling. It's like for me, it's like in a specific part of my head. Maybe that's another like a factor as to like what triggers it or not. I don't know. I need to maybe see like specialists, or if anyone can comment down below the reasons why you think you get yours, let me know. But sometimes it's like, yeah, it's a specific part of my head, and it's sharp pain and throbbing. Headache is just like, oh, it's like, oh, I just like I have a headache. When people say I just have, no. Migraine is like, so yeah, a sharp part of your head is thumping, not just pounding, thumping, and it's piercing you. But also with me, see, and I get scared. I had this theory when I was younger. Oh my god, I'm actually crazy. I had this theory when I was younger that if I talked about it too much, that like I would get one. So this is like very wishy-washy, like unstable territory right now. And freak, like if I get one tomorrow, I'm gonna crash the freak. Like I'll be very upset. So I'm doing this for you. Just remember this. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this to share the story to make you laugh. So if I suffer tomorrow, don't say I never did anything for you. But it affects my eyes a lot. My eyes go fuzzy. I feel very nauseous, and I go dark, like black, like it's just terrible. Anyways, with that said, let's get into this first story. I'm gonna try to tell these which one came first. So I'll tell you the first story about when I was in university and I got a migraine. So this was just a regular morning. I remember I had to drop off a last final paper in person on campus at Carleton. I'll never forget this. Nobody was home. I was awake. I was making breakfast. All of a sudden, like I hate when I get the feeling that I'm about to get one because it ruins the whole rest of the day. So anyways, I get that like swift of a feeling, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like it's kind of like I see spots, and it's very weird. I see spots in my eyes, really weird spots, and they don't go away. Every time I look away, like sometimes you see spots when you take a picture with flash. It's like that, but that it never goes away. So I'm making my breakfast, like oatmeal cereal or something, and I see spots, and I'm like, here we go again, bro. So again, I'm home alone, I'm making breakfast, and I'm like, so right away I have to eat because everyone knows you're not supposed to take like harsh or like drastic pills without food in your stomach. So I'm like, I need to take I always forget the two, which one is best, Advil or Tylenol. Anywho, I was like, I need to take like a supplement, one of the two, Advil or Tylenol. I don't know which one's for headaches. I think it's Advil. Yeah, I think it's Advil. So I hurry up, I throw back the food, and I think I took an Advil. And I was like, okay, like hopefully like it goes away. Of course it doesn't. Like it doesn't work like that, these migraines. Like that type of medicine is not a remedy. I've tried everything. So I'm like, so I waited out, and it's progressively getting worse. Now the spots, so it comes in steps, these migraines. You guys do like it's not even funny because it stresses me out, these things. Like it's just such an inconvenience to my life getting these migraines. So when the spots stop, the headache part starts, like the migraine part starts. So spots go away, and now like I feel the lingering pain creep onto my head like this, and I was boom thumping in my head. Now what am I gonna do? So now I have to make a quick decision. I have to drop off this paper in between a time frame. That's why I'm up. That's why I'm home. That's why I'm about to drive to campus. I have to drop off this paper in my professor's office, like in the building on campus. I have to do it. Like this is a strict time frame. So I'm like, okay, I have a choice. Do I get in the car and drive there and drop off this paper, but knowing that the fuzzy part starts at some point, the fuzziness starts at some point, and that's when I dead ass I can't see. Like this is no joke. Like when that starts, I can't see. So then I'm like, do I like wait until that point, Or let me just check that this is still recording because I get scared. Do I wait until that point, or do I just like find a way to email the professor and tell them just like I can't make it? But I, for some reason, why that just like wasn't an option. I can't remember why, but it was almost like that was like the last day or there was extension, but whatever. So I was like, no, like I have to go and drop it off. So I drank a ton of water and I hop in the car and I start driving on the highway. I'm going to Carlton, okay? I live in Orleans. Like, this isn't just like a hop, skip, and a jump. I'm not going to the public library, okay? Around the corner. Like, I have to go and drop off my paper. So I'm driving the highway. I just passed Blair. I mean, if you're not from Ottawa, like these references don't make sense to you. But I maybe, okay, I'll give you time. Like, this is like maybe 10 minutes out. And the fuzziness starts. And guys, when I tell you, I'm just like, no, like, I don't know how this is gonna work. I literally don't know how this is gonna work or how I'm gonna get to the destination I need to get to. So I'm driving and I'm like, bro, I can't see it. My head is thumping. Like, oh, I'm just sick. I'm just sick even thinking about this scenario. Because anyways, so I'm driving, I get there, I park, and by the grace of God, I get there and I park and I'm like, okay, thank goodness. But I'm not even thinking, you guys don't understand. When I have a migraine, I'm not thinking straight. I'm thinking about when do I get to lie down in a dark room and like feel this out until it passes? And like when am I gonna feel peace again? Like everything is just like rush on the go because I just need to lie the fuck down. Sorry for my language, but like my head, I'm unwell. So I remember pulling into a random parking spot. I don't even know if this was like if I could even park there because I did have a parking spot at Carlton, but it was like all the way up, like you know, like it was like a parking garage. I was like, I have no time for that. I need to park the car and drop my paper and go home. So I parked the car and got whoosh, the nausea comes, and I'm like, oh no, guys. When I tell you, I don't even remember. I just opened the car door. Sorry, like fair warning. This is like a bit gross. So like, yeah, whatever type of warning. Yak. Open on campus outside. I don't even make it to the bathroom. I don't. I throw up outside. Like open the car door, throw up. And I felt so first, and I'm not even thinking about who's looking at me or like how much time I have left to drop off my paper. I needed to get that out of my system. And again, I can't tell you why that happens with migraines. It's just a thing. And I'm like, oh my God. I just drove outside. Imagine this people walking around going to their classes, and I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. So then I grabbed my paper and I locked the car again. I don't even know where I parked the car. Like this is do or die at this point. I go to the bathroom, make sure I somewhat look okay, throw up a bit more just to get the rest out, and I march my butt up and drop off my paper. And I remember dropping off that paper, and I was like, if only this professor knew what I did to get that here on time. Like I shouldn't have even been on the roads. When I tell you I couldn't see.
Hey, I'm an innocent bystander. They saying I drove a getaway car, but I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
I couldn't see. Oh my gosh. And it's really those things that, again, such an inconvenience. So I dropped off my paper. The professor said, thank you. I left. I said, thanks for a great semester. I got back in the car and I just remember feeling a slightly bit better because when that nausea does kind of come out of me, I don't know. Again, for some reason, guys, I really need to do more scientific research about this stuff. But when that does happen, I do feel a bit of relief after that nausea kind of like goes away. Um, I just remember getting back in the car, calling my mom, and being like, "You will never guess what happened." And I knew calling her mom for watching this, like, she'd be so mad at me that I drove on the highway. But like, I don't like. I had to drop off that paper. I had like it was like there was no other way of doing so. I don't know why we couldn't have done it online. But anyways, um, and I don't remember exactly how. I think someone came to pick me up because I was in no state of driving. So I think I left my car, or or someone came to me without, like, not in a car. Someone drove my car with me in it to like refuge, and I went to go rest somewhere. But yeah, so that was that story, and yeah, not fun, disgusting. If anyone saw me on campus that day, I'm so sorry. I was really sick, and just had to happen. But the second story, I think you guys will also love a bit more. Again, it's this shit. I'm always in public. These migraines, like, they know exactly when to come and when. So this time I was working at my job. I used to work at Dynamite, the well-known clothing store brand for women, and I woke up in my bed. I was the assistant manager at the time, and I had to open the store, like my early morning shift. And I remember getting up, and these things with migraines, again, man, like they creep up on you. Like, you don't feel it as soon as you get up. That's not how it works, at least for me. It's always like I start my day, shower, brush my teeth. I'm like mid getting ready, and then it's like I'm gonna come right now, or I like just leave the house and it comes right now. So, anyways, I get up, put on my clothes, I'm getting ready for my shift, and again, I'm packing up my lunch, and I feel like that whoosh again. I wish I could like give you guys visuals of like how it feels. And I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. But the thing is with this job is I'm not like opening with someone else. At least at this location, where we were pretty small location. I say were because it's currently closed down. Rest in peace. But yeah, we weren't opening with other people. This is just me opening up the store. I was scheduled, and it's also early in the morning. Like, I don't want to say early, but like no one else is awake. So to call or whatever to do it for me. Like, I'm not calling up an employee and being like, hey, it's like 8 something. Can you go and open the store for me? I'm sick. So I'm like, bro, I have to go. I mean, that's what I thought at the time. I really, again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, prioritize your health. It really wasn't that serious now that I think about it now, but at the time it was. I take my employment very seriously. So if anyone's watching, just know I'm a real G. I'm a real employee. Also, I'm a real student getting that paper on time. But so I get up and I'm like, okay, here we go again. So anyways, I get in the car again, but this time it isn't as far. So I go down the road, maybe 10 minutes drive, and I get to the mall, and I'm like, I can't even get out the car. I'm crippled. Like, these migraines take you out, bro. So I'm sitting there in the car and I'm like, okay, I can go in there and open this door, but I am not working this full shift. I'm saying that right now. I'm like, that's already a known fact. But I'm like, who is awake for me to even call to help me? Like, you're so helpless with these things. I'm literally like in the car, I'm holding the wheel like this with my head down, just praying that this migraine washes over me. But it never does. It never just goes away. It never does. It stays with you, and it stays with you for a very long time. The whole day, mash up, done. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I drag myself into the store. I unlock the doors, lock it behind me. I go to the back of the store, turn on the lights, and I'm starting to do like my opening stuff that I have to do. And I'm just like, this ain't it. I take a seat. I'll never forget. I take a seat in the back. The fluorescent lights blaring. It's literally not even helping the cause, these lights. Like, when something is so bright and you have a migraine, turn it off. But I can't. I'm working. I'm a hard working employee. So I'm sitting back there with my head on the table with my head down like this. And I'm like, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. So I immediately get up and I go to the middle of the store and I just stand there and I'm like, what am I gonna do? But a key part of the story is that garage, and most scenarios across North America, that there's also a garage within the mall that there also is a Dynamite. But at that time I was not thinking about, oh, go over to garage and tell them what the situation is, and hopefully like they can call someone up or help you out. Like, I'm not even thinking about that. Like I said in the first story, you're not thinking clearly when I have a migraine. It's, when can I go home and lie down and shut my eyes and let this thing pass? So I immediately go to the back, I grab my shit, and I leave. Because I'm like, if I have no business being in this store, opening up, putting on this music, hi, acting like I can do my job, but I can't even stand up. When I can't even stand up. So that's a big problem though, because I don't know if y'all have ever worked retail, but this is a tight ship and they run this stuff seriously. Like there's no like, oh, no one showed up. Okay, let's figure it out. It's like, if you say like, oh, the store didn't open, or they see that you didn't open like at the right time, like say like the mall opens at 9. If you open at 9:10 or 9:15 too many times, like you're gonna get a write up. But if you call and say like, if someone finds out, oh, the store didn't open, or like I like slept through my alarm and the store didn't open but the mall is open, yo, you know that episode of SpongeBob where they're in what's his name's brain and they're all running around and shit's on fire? Like it's like that. It's like the store didn't open. Who's supposed to open? Why isn't the store open? Some like it's panic. So, but knowing that, I guess I still went home. I still went home. I went back to my car in the parking lot of the mall, and I drove myself home again. Shouldn't have been driving. I'm in no state to drive, and I go home. I take off my clothes. I put back on my pajamas, and I lie down. I close my blinds. I put my phone on ringer because I knew I was gonna get a call. Like again, when I tell you like I didn't do anything the proper, but I don't know what the proper steps are in that case. You know what I mean? I think I contacted the store manager. She was overseeing both Garage and Dynamite at the time. But again, it's early. I texted her. I called her. I tried to do my best to get a hold of someone, being like someone of more higher up, to kind of be like, hey, you know, I'm like unwell, not in good stable to be at the store right now. It couldn't open. Can you please send someone else? Like I did my due diligence. I really did. I tried. And so I put my phone on ringer because just to wait for her to get back to me. And I went back to bed. Like I was total savage. But I went back to bed, closed my eyes, and I just slept until I got a ring from not the store manager. It was the store manager first, and she called me again, panic. But I'm like, guys, looking back now, like it's really not that serious. Who was really gonna be at the store at the time the mall was opening? Please, if you know the area that the Dynamite that I'm talking about, like there was no one at the mall on a Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Just the grannies that they're doing their laps, getting their steps in, that come up and ruin the conversion rate when they come in the store because it tracks people who come in and out for statistical reasons. Come in, they ask me nothing, and they leave. So, anyways, what is the rush? Nonetheless, store manager calls me, and I'm like, girl, like I'm not even there, and I could tell she was upset, but like I'm sorry, like I don't play about my health. I'm telling you that right now. If I'm unwell, I'm leaving, and you guys will sort it out. But I tried my best. And again, this is also another reason why like you should also work with someone else at the same time. But whatever. I digress. But she was upset, but I think she went because she lived nearby and she was awake now. And that's kind of like what you do as a store manager, is when your employees are incapable of doing something, you have to step in. Like, isn't that kind of in there? But anyways, she ends up going, but I get a call later from the district manager. And bro, him and I were tight. I liked him. He liked me. But when I tell you, he was so mad. He was so mad. He was like, you can't leave the store unattended like that. You were scheduled to open that shift. You should have opened the doors and waited until someone got back to you. And like, I'm listening to him go on about this, and I'm just like, again, I'm already in bed. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, am I sorry? Yes, no, really. Like, and what made me upset was that I was like, and I am still am to this day, but I'm a very loyal employee. I'm like, even like with my job right now, like I'm there on time. If I'm there late, like I'm stressed. If the bus not showing up or whatever, I woke up late, like it's stress. Like I don't like just jaunt in anywhere. I take shit very seriously. I'm very prideful of my job and to do things properly. So, and I had never done anything like that before then. Like I was a good employee, and he knew that. That's why he liked me. But for him to like berate me like that, knowing that like I literally was ill, I don't understand when people go on like that. when it's so out of character, when people who are stand up, who are like, very scheduled on time, like do what they have to do and have a certain regime, when they do something out of the ordinary, I'm shook because I'm like, oh, something actually must be wrong. But he wasn't looking at it like that. He was looking at like, how could you? But I was like, bro, like I've been so good to this day. Like, do you think I would really leave like that abruptly if I actually like wasn't sick? Like, can you think about that for a second? Like, obviously, this is very serious. And whatever, some people might not think the migraine was that serious, but for me, it was like I was in no shape to even be outside, let alone be on the roads. I shouldn't have even left the house. So that's kind of what like really hurt me. And that hurts me in general when I'm like known for doing something in a certain way, but then like one day something happens and I have to adjust. And like, it's just like, you're bad. You should have done it better. But it's like, dang. And this is why to certain companies, you're just a number. Because at the end of the day, no matter the numbers you get for them, the sales that you get, you're just a number. But, anyways, that's what happened with that story. Sorry, that's what happened with that story. With both stories, I hope you guys have a bit of an understanding now about how drastic migraines can get and how it affects me personally. If you suffer from migraines annually, bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, quarterly, if you suffer from them, let me know. How do you treat them? I've recently got one the last I think month or so, and I finally have, prescribed medication that helps now from my doctor. So whenever I do feel one coming on, I can have this medication and it's supposed to like let it like completely wash away. I've used it once. It was kind of late, like it was already like while the migraine is happening, but it did help it like go away very quickly. So cheers to never having to experience a full on migraine attack again for a very long time now that I have the stuff that I need. But I hope that, these stories made you laugh and there's plenty more of just silly tomfoolery situations to come in the art of memories. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you giggled a bit and, just are happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here. This stuff really makes me happy. I'm finally doing something that I said I was going to do for a very long time, like I've reiterated in the past couple episodes. So thank you so much for tuning in for the whole episode if you've been here. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.